Hello student. As we have already discussed earlier about the introduction of the senile cataract up to the sign and the symptoms of senile cataract. Today, taking it further, we shall discuss about the management of senile cataract in detail. Diagnosis and management of the senile cataract. There is no known method of preventing the progress of any naturally occurring cataract. Sometimes in the early stage of the hydration, and if it is due to the systemic disease like diabetes, adequate control of the causal condition may result in the disappearance of the early lens changes. So the only way to disperse the lens opacity is the removal of the lens. Thus, the medical treatment of the cataract is purely symptomatic. Medical treatment. Treatment of the cause of the cataract. Many times the treatment of the causative disease may stop the progression of the cataractous changes. Example, adequate control of the diabetes mellitus, removal of the cataractogenic drugs such as the corticosteroid, strong miotics, phenothiazine group, etc. Removal of the irradiation may also delay or prevent the cataract formation. Early and the adequate treatment of ocular disease like uveitis. Measures to improve the vision in the presence of incipient and the immature cataract. This includes frequent and the accurate refraction to maintain the vision at the best possible level. Using the optimal illumination and the magnifying glasses. Patient with the peripheral opacity means the pupillary area is the free, brilliant illumination will be best. But if the opacity lies centrally, dull light placed beside and behind the patient give the best result. Dark goggles give the comfort in the patient with the central opacity for the outdoor work. And sometimes the weak mediatics, example the phenylephrine or cyclopentolate for the central opacity to provide the visual improvement. Third one is the measures to delay the progression by the topical preparation. The topical preparation containing the iodide salts of calcium and the potassium are prescribed in the early stage of the cataract to delay the progression, but till date no conclusive results are available. Surgical management. Cataract surgery involves the removing the cataractous lens, that is a natural cloudy lens, and replacing it with the clear artificial lens. Indication of the cataract surgery. Cataract is removed for the following reason. First one is the optical region, second is the medical region, and third is the cosmetic region. Optical region. Most common indication and varies from the patient to patient depending on the individual needs. The opacity are progressed to such an extent that the patient can no longer to able to do his day-to-day activities with best visual correction. Second one is the medical region. When the presence of the cataract is adversely affecting the health of the eye, as in the case of faculitic glaucoma, secondary angle closure glaucoma due to the intumescent cataract, or vitreoretinal diseases like the vitreous hemorrhage, diabetic mellitus, retinal detachment, treatment of which is being hampered by the presence of the lens opacity. And third one is the cosmetic region. In order to obtain a black pupil, even with no hope of getting the useful vision due to the associated retinal or the optic nerve disease. Investigation prior to the surgery. Once it has been decided to operate for the cataract, a thorough pre-operative evaluation should be done. The main aim of the investigation are to detect the underlying local or systemic pathology which can affect the management adversely, to prevent pre and post-operative complication, to calculate the power of the intraocular lens, and to predict the visual outcome. The investigation are history, local investigations, and the systemic investigation. History. Detailed history of any trauma or the inflammation of the eye, any posterior segment disease like the macular degeneration, vitreous hemorrhage, nature of the glasses using in the past, diabetes, hypertension, bronchial asthma, dental, and the urinary problems. Local examination includes the examination of the lead conjunctiva and the lacrimal apparatus to rule out the conjunctival infection like blepharitis, meibomitis, and the lacrimal sac infection. Conjunctival swab culture and the sensitivity test should be done in the doubtful cases. Patency of the lacrimal passage to find out any pathology of the lacrimal sac and treat before the cataract surgery. Slit lamp examination. Cornea. Evaluation of the health of the cornea to find out scarring, evidence of the iridocyclitis, like the presence of KP, posterior synegia, pigment over the anterior lens surface. Specular microscopic examination for the endothelial cell count and its morphology. Eye with the decreased endothelial cell count below 1500 cells per mm square, a special care is needed in these patients. The normal cell count in the elderly patient peoples ranging from the 2000 to 2500 cells per mm square. Fully dilated people should be examined under the slit lamp to evaluate the type and the grade of the lens opacity. Cataractous lens should be evaluated for the morphology, maturity of the cataract, and the grade of the nuclear sclerosis. Cataract can be assessed by matching with the standard color photographs using the lens opacities classification system LOX2. Grading of the nuclear hardnesses in the grade 1 nucleus, grade 2 slight yellow, grade 3 brown, and grade 4 black. Black means extremely hard nucleus. Examination of the pupil. If the pupil reacts sluggish to the light on the direct stimulation but briskly on the indirect stimulation, this condition is known as the Marcus Gunn pupil. The prognosis for the restoration of the central vision is extremely questionable. If the ability of the pupil to dilate adequately should be estimated before surgery. If the pupil fail to dilate, manipulation of the iris during the surgery should be planned. Examination of the fundus, if possible, should carried out with special attention on the macula to rule out other cause of the decreased vision. Indirect ophthalmoscopy useful in the hazy media. Visual assessment. Visual acuity of the patient is tested by using a Snellen's chart, noting unaided visual acuity with pinhole and the best corrected visual acuity. In the case of the advanced or the mature cataract, perception of the light and the projection of the ray should be done. Perception of the light must be noted. Absence of the PL indicate the nil visual prognosis. Projection of the light ray, that is PR. It is a crude but the important and the easy test for the gross function of the peripheral retina, but tell nothing about the condition of the macula. Its importance are in an accurate PR exclude the possibility of a large retinal detachment or the absolute field defect. Inaccurate PR may be seen in the retinal detachment, chorioretinal dystrophy, or advanced stage of the glaucoma. Then coming to the macular function test, this test is important. These tests are important to predict the visual potential of the eye with the opaque media, like the dense cataract, total glaucoma, or the vitreous hemorrhage. Macular function tests are two light discrimination tests, and this performed in the dark room. Patient is asked to look through and the opaque disc perforated with the two pinhole close together. Holes are the 2 inches apart and 2 feet away from the patient eye. If he can appreciate the presence of the two light, macular function is good. Maddox rod test. Patient is asked to look at the distance light through the Maddox rod. If the red line is continuous and unbroken, macular function is probably good. Color vision test. If the patient identifies the red, green, or the blue light in the presence of the opaque media, macular function, and the optic nerve is normal. Pupillary light reflex. This should be brisk in the presence of mature cataract. It indicates the good optic nerve function. Cataract never produces the afferent pupillary defect. If the RAPD present, it indicates some pathology that influence the visual outcome and requires the further investigation. And the entoptic visualization. If the eye are closed and the globe is steadily and firmly massaged through the lower lid with the bare lighted bulb, like the torch or the ophthalmoscope, he will see clearly the entire vascularity of the retina in the orange ground. Fifth one is the ultrasound B scan. Give the valuable information of the posterior segment such as the vitreous and the retina in case of the total cataract. Gross abnormalities like the vitreous hemorrhage, RD, intraocular tumor and the staphyloma. And sixth is the foveal electroretinogram, ERG. Gives useful information of the function of the retina, but this test is not required in the routine clinical practice. And intraocular pressure measured in each and every patient and preferably by the applanation tonometer. Keratometry and the biometry to calculate the intraocular lens power. Keratometry determines the curvature of the cornea expressed in the diopter. This picture showing the how to take the A scan reading, and second one is the A scan reading. First tall echo from the cornea, and this two tall echoes are from the anterior and the posterior lens capsule. Sharply rising tall echoes from the retina, and the medium size tall echo from the sclera, and medium and the low echoes from the orbital fat. Intraocular lens power calculation. Numerous formula has been developed which utilize the keratometry and the axial length to calculate the intraocular lens power. Most common is the SRKT formula. SRKT is the example of the commonly used formula for the eye of axial length more than 20 mm. A specific formula may be for the very short and the very long eye. SRKT formula is P is equal to A minus 2.5 into L minus 0.9 into the K, whereas the P is lens implant power to produce the emmetropia, L is the axial length in mm, K is the average keratometer reading, and the A is a specific constant for the each lens type. Other formula using like the standard power like plus 90D diopter, this is generally no longer acceptable. And another is based on the basic refractive error prior to the onset of the cataract. The formula for the posterior chamber intraocular lens power is P is equal to plus 19 plus R into 1.25, whereas the P is implant power, R is basic refractive error. It is useful when the ultrasound facilities is not available. Systemic investigation. Any systemic hypertension should be controlled before surgery to avoid the complication like retrobulbar hemorrhage and the expulsive hemorrhage. Blood sugar. Presence of the diabetes mellitus increase the risk of infection, delayed wound healing, and the intraocular hemorrhage. Pre-existing diabetic retinopathy may also be responsible for the poor vision after the surgery. Dental and the ENT checkup for the septic foci. urine for the routine and the culture sensitivity test, X-ray chest, ECG, and the cardiological condition for the patient with the heart disease. Pre-operative anesthetic checkup for the complicated patient, particularly if the general anesthesia is needed. Pre-operative medication and the preparation. Consent with the detailed information about the procedure, risk involved, and the outcome expected should be obtained from each patient. Topical antibiotics such as the moxifloxacin or gefloxacin may be used for the 3 days before surgery. Diuretics like tropicamide or cyclopentolate should be instilled 4 to 6 times before the surgery. It dilates the pupil and paralyzes the sphincter pupilli. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like flurbiprofen, ketorolac or diclofenac eye drop should be instilled 3 to 4 times before surgery. It prevents the intraoperative meiosis. And povidone iodine 10% solution used to paint the lid and the facial skin. Cataract extraction can perform under the local anesthesia and the general anesthesia. Local anesthesia. Most eye surgeon prefers to perform the cataract operation under the local anesthesia because it is easy to administer, no need of a special and the costly investigation, no major complication of the GA like the cardiorespiratory problem, and post-operative recovery is uneventful. Type of the local anesthesia. Surface anesthesia and the infiltration anesthesia. Surface anesthesia, installation of 4% lignocaine or 0.5% proparacaine. It is most commonly required for the removal of the corneal foreign body, syringing, tonometry, and the gonioscopy. Infiltration anesthesia. Commonly used agents are injection lignocaine 2%, onset of the action is 5 to 10 minutes and the duration of action 45 to 2 hours. Injection bupivacaine 0.5%, its onset of action is 15 to 20 minutes and the duration of action is 5 to 8 hours. Adjuvants. Injection adrenaline, it decreases the systemic absorption of anesthetic agent by the local vasoconstriction, reduce the chances of the bleeding and prolong the duration of the action. And injection hyaluronidase, it enhances the diffusion of the anesthetic agents to the tissue. Infiltration anesthesia is best achieved by mixture of 50% injection lignocaine 2% with adrenaline for the rapid onset plus 50% bupivacaine for the long duration of the action plus injection hyaluronidase. Type of anesthesia. Facial block. To block the facial nerve, which supplies the orbicularis oculi so the patient can't squeeze the lid during the surgery. Second one is the retrobulbar block to anesthetize the ciliary ganglion and paralyze the extraocular muscles. Its complications are retrobulbar hemorrhage, perforation of the globe and the optic nerve damage. And third one is the peribulbar block. Injection of local anesthetic solution in the peripheral space of the orbit from where it is diffused into the muscle cone and the lid and leading to the globe and the orbicularis akinesia and the anesthesia. This picture showing the methods of the facial block. First one is the O'Brien's technique. In this technique, the facial nerve is blocked at the condylar process. And second method used is the Van Lint method, in which the blocking the facial nerve in the its peripheral branch or terminal branch of the facial nerve is blocked. And third is the Atkinson block, in which the superior branch of the facial nerve is blocked. And this picture showing the direction of the needle in the retrobulbar block and direction of the needle in the peribulbar block. Types of the cataract surgery. Currently practiced technique for the surgery with the intraocular lens implantation includes the extracapsular cataract extraction, manual small incision cataract surgery (SICS), phacoemulsification, and femtosecond laser-assisted cataract surgery. Intracapsular cataract extraction, which is practiced earlier, this method became the obsolete. Extracapsular cataract extraction. In this method, making an opening in the anterior capsule, removing the nucleus and washing the cortical matters. Posterior capsule is left intact. Its indication are all type of the cataracts except the subluxated or dislocated lens. ECC requires a large incision of about 7 to 8 mm. Surgical steps. In short, superior rectus stitch, conjunctival flap preparation, partial thickness groove is made and the anterior chamber is entered. And anterior capsulotomy can be performed either by can opener technique. In this technique, making the multiple cuts in the anterior capsule. Second method is the envelope technique, and third is the continuous curvilinear capsular axis. CCC is done for the smooth edge of the anterior capsular opening, which increase the strength of the capsular bag. Hydrodissection. Separation of the capsule from the cortex by injecting the balanced salt solution between the capsule and the cortex. Removal of the nucleus is done by the two method. First one is the pressure and the counter pressure, and second is the irrigating wire vectis technique. PCIOL implantation implanted in the capsular bag, and closure of the incision is done by the 10-0 nylon suture. Wound healing requires 4 to 6 weeks. Demerits of the ECC: large incision, multiple suture, high incidence of the post-operative astigmatism, more risk of the wound leak, swelling of the anterior chamber, iris prolapse, delayed optical and the physical rehabilitation. A small incision cataract surgery. In this method, surgical extraction of the lens through a small incision, which is self-sealing and no need of the suture. Procedure is fast and has low rate of the complication and can be performed in the dense cataract. Steps of the SICS. In short, self-sealing partial thickness scalar tunnel is dissected, anterior chamber is entered, capsular axis and the hydrodissection is performed. The nucleus is prolapsed out of the nuclear bag into the AC. Then the delivery of the nucleus outside through the sclerocorneal tunnel can be done by following method. Irrigating wire vectis method, blue menthol technique, phaco sandwich technique, phaco fracture technique, or fish hook technique. Then the residual cortex are aspirated with the Simcoe cannula, and posterior chamber intraocular lens is implanted in the bag. Anterior chamber is filled with the either balanced salt solution or air. This leads to the self-sealing of the sclerocorneal tunnel incision due to the valve effect. Merits of the manual SICS over the phacoemulsification. All type of the cataract, including the hard cataract, grade 4 or grade 5, can be operated. Learning curve is much easier as compared to the phaco, no machine dependent. Less surgical complication like the nucleus drop in the vitreous cavity is less than the phaco, less operating time, therefore the ideal for the mass cataract surgery, and it is cost effective. And the demerits are conjunctival congestion persists for 5 to 7 days, post-operative hyphema may be noticed in the sum, surgically induced astigmatism more than the phaco, and delayed visual rehabilitation as compared to the phaco. Phacoemulsification, most popular method worldwide and now virtually replace all other technique in the most of the country. In the phaco, nucleus is emulsified by the phacoemulsifier and the lens matter is removed by the suction. This technique required a small incision and the surgery is the sutureless. And then coming to the latest method, that is the femtosecond laser assisted cataract surgery. Femtosecond laser assisted cataract surgery. In this method, femtosecond laser is used to perform capsular axis and the lens fragmentation. This allows the precise and the accurate capsular axis and the reduction in the phaco energy and intracameral manipulation. Thank you.